Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring well-wishing Chinese expressions. So today we're going to talk about 家和万事兴. So at the beginning of the year, we talked about a lot about fortune making because Chinese prioritize financial security, I guess, higher in their value. Therefore, when they wish each other, good fortunes in the new year, it starts with wishing them making more money or smooth sailing. Like a few days ago, we talked about 一帆风顺, right? And then Chinese have a bunch of expressions talk about family. So yesterday we talked about the gathering of a family, the completeness, the connectedness of family. And today we're talking about the mechanism of how or the importance of having a harmonious family life would lead to success. So this is a Chinese happy wife, happy life, which simplify everything about a family life into life, right? I memean, that's a super simplification in English, but Chinese, we have, I guess, a more wholesome expression of that. We talk about 家和, the harmony in family. And because Chinese family, I guess we don't emphasize life because many times 家 is multi-generational. So it's 3 generations. It's a lot more complicated than just, a couple, just make your wife happy. It's not as easy as that. So it's multi-generational. And if you have the harmony at home, and then the consequence will lead to 万事兴. Again, what is this Chinese concept of infinity? Because that's probably in the concept of Chinese language, when we have units of measurement, we start from, counting to 10, right? And then we have hundreds, we have thousands, and then 10,000. 10,000 in English is not a unit, right? We have to say 10,000, right? But the Chinese have a designated word for that, which is 1 to mean 10,000. And beyond 10,000, it's like 10万. It's kind of like 10K in English, 10,000. We have 1 as a unit. That's kind of a max out our sense of numerical abundance. When you count to 1, that's a huge number, close to infinity. So when we wish somebody have longevity, we will say 万岁, so 10,000 years. And because 10,000 is our approximation to infinity, so that means you live forever. And when we say 万事, it doesn't exactly mean exactly 10,000 things, because how many things in your life you're dealing with? It's probably, I don't know. 10,000 seems like a huge number, right? It seems like everything included. So it becomes like whatever you want to do. Things is your endeavor. Whatever you want to do, you're going to make it. It's going to thrive. So this 家和 as a condition and 万事兴 as a result put together is almost like a Chinese wisdom, time-honored wisdom, to say you want to have harmony at home because that's the foundation of you're going to make anything out of your life. You have to have this foundation first. Okay, 家. Again, we have this dome with a chimney that signifies private space in Chinese. And then we have this pig symbol. So interestingly, Chinese mark home not with people, because number of family members in that household, in that private space, is undetermined, right? So does pig. But if you have pig under your private property, that is where home is. And that's probably a common practice back then when people have domestic animals, and because pigs took time to be raised, to be edible, I guess, as an important food source back then. And it was kept within the private property living quarters with humans. It doesn't mean they mingle. They're actually living under the floor, below the floor where humans live, but it's definitely under the same roof. And I guess because this is a kind of private property is a theft prevention strategy, I guess, because you don't want to have the pigs in the barn, which can be easily stolen. In America, when we talk about barn, it's relatively safe, right? Because the distance from between households sometimes can be miles. It's a super less condensed population here in America versus China. Your house versus somebody else's house can be very close by. And if you put your pigs somewhere outside under another roof, chances are it's going to be gone sometimes, right? So pigs under the same roof, that's the definition of Chinese home. Okay, harmony, we have the mouse symbol, and then we have the crop symbol. Crop symbol simply is this upward turning, which is sun facing growing plant, and then the root is downward facing. So we have the root of the plant and the visible part of the plant, and then we have this tilt along the side. That means it's the fruit of the plant is ripening, and therefore it's kind of dragging, the gravity start to drag the plant sideways. And that signifies the crops, like ready to be harvested. And the crop next to mouse, it means harmony because you want to have enough food to feed the mouse. So this one-on-one ratio means it's an equalizing, or it's a balance. Therefore, things are in harmony. There's no shortage, there's no tension, there's no imbalance. So things are in balance is a Chinese way, and it's a hunger, it's a food security related, and that's the harmony concept. Okay, 10K. Okay, Chinese originally used the scorpion image because scorpions have a brood of like 20 or 30 little scorpion babies at one time. So they are viewed as highly productive, and they produce so much at one batch. And that was used as the concept of like a huge number. So from one scorpion to a huge number of babies of this one scorpion. So that super multiplier, I guess, was the symbol. But because it was so complicated to write, because to draw out the scorpion, it takes a long time. So eventually somebody borrowed this one, which was used as a family name, a surname, to mean a number. So that borrowing of one concept have nothing to do with this, the image, the icon of the concept, and then borrowed, transferred to use, in a totally different meaning, happen a lot in Chinese. So that makes the language kind of hard to unpack for me, right? So I have to kind of detect like why, when. I mean, if I dig deeper, I probably will go back to when things happen like this way. But because there's so many layers, so many years passed, tracks and traces of how language borrow one icon to mean another icon's thing can be hard to detect. So this is one of those borrowed. Okay, that's one. And 是, we have three-finger hand symbol, and then we have this special geared government official symbol. So I guess just like any uniform organization or institution, sometimes they have special gears, just like is it gosh, I forgot, like a badges or something to signify the ranks of people, right? In Chinese ancient times, special gear, headgears was the symbol, and you can see it's kind of turning upright a little bit. It's kind of funny looking, right? And this is supposed to be the head, and that signifies garment. And then with this long vertical line, kind of that's the connector. You can view that as a government official's body, the full length. And when it's held inside with the three-finger hand symbol, that means actually it turns into the pen holding in a hand as well. But that pen is not a regular pen. That pen comes with this authority because it's connected with this special geared headgear that's signifying government. So government pen handling, okay, that eventually signifies, I guess, bureaucratic processing. That if you want to do business, if you want to accomplish anything, or get a license, I guess, most likely, or pay tax. However, you have to deal with government, right? So dealing with government then got abstracted into things, into occurrence, because this is a progressing or processing of things that's through the government. And even if it may not go through the government, it's still a progressing and processing of things. Eventually it becomes things. And in English, when we talk about things, things can be happening, right? Can be a sequence of actions. Can mean the temporal sense of progression of things. Or it could be a spatial thing, can be an object, existing in somewhere. So things in English is this two ways of existing, through time or through space. That's things in English. But over here, this things especially means progression, this temporal existence of things. It doesn't mean, well, I guess you have to pair these things with objects, and then that kind of fix the meaning of things, means the objects of things. It doesn't mean progression of things. So, okay, there this distinction of things. So this government processing of things means happening. Okay, 兴. We have, again, 3-finger hand symbol. You see it's the same thing, same structure, a little bit different proportion. And then you'll see 2 of them, a mirror image. That means your left hand and right hand together. That means one pair of hands from the same person, from the bottom of the screen, kind of your gamer's point of view. And then this is also 2 hands, but from the opposite direction, from the screen top down. And this is also 3 hand, right? 3 finger, hand holding down. So this is your hand, this is somebody else's hand, both reaching out, both hands. And both hands reaching out, have this sense of respect. So you're handling, not just single-handedly handling something, you double-handed something. So double-handed handling something means you really take something serious. And so is the other party reaching from the other direction down. And now the middle part, 3 things. One is the dome, that means a space, a domain. And then there's 1 horizontal line, that means 1. And then there's a mouse symbol over there, that means speaking, voice, opinion. So 1 voice under the space. That means everybody is thinking, saying the same thing. There is this alignment of purpose. So you have your double-handed handling of things, somebody else is handling the same thing, and they're reaching the same goal. So that synergy, it's almost like the idea of teamwork, right? You're both hand in there. That means you're really invested in doing something, and somebody else is also invested, reaching down, and you are having this one goal or one idea under the same domain or dome. And that's the concept for Chinese. To thrive, you have to have that synergy. You have to, not only you want to do something, you have to have people supporting you to do that. And eventually that's the teamwork definition right there. Okay, so home harmony, infinity things thrive. That's Chinese, I guess, more wholesome way to say happy wife, happy life. That's a super simplification in English expression. But this relationship may make or break your whole life's, I guess, endeavor, or whatever you want to accomplish. And the emphasis is that this is foundational. You got to have good relationship at home, and then you can go accomplish things. And I'm using these two bikers. You can see it's a couple. They're reaching hands together. And that probably is a happy wife, happy life illustration visually to show, okay, they're going the same goal, same destination, and they're holding hands going through that journey. And that's the visualization of 家和万事兴. Catching to the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.